This is the logo of the PlayStation 5 that Sony revealed during CES, the tech convention that is going on right now. I know that some people maybe expected more because Cory Barlog, the director of God of War of course, also took a trip to Vegas to attend the show, but he was nowhere to be seen during the Sony press conference. There are still some interesting pieces of information that we can take away from the Sony showing though, with more information promised in the following months. And we also have a new leak that shows the new but familiar PlayStation 5 controller, so I want to go in depth on that. A like on the video would be really appreciated. And let's go. We actually got a pretty cool new 2020 hype trailer from CES, showcasing the upcoming PS4 exclusives, including Ghost of Tsushima. It's a mix between gameplay and cinematic footage, as we kinda already predicted looking at that awesome new trailer. The Last of Us Part 2 gets some screen time, and we see a guy who cannot play games. Like, I never used the controller that way. Like, D-pad triggers and the face buttons, and all at the same time really fast. Impressive. But anyway, it's a cool reminder that the PlayStation 4 is going out with a bang, and then at the end of that year, we have the PlayStation 5. And we of course already knew these features already, but we never saw them like this on one screen. 3D audio is of course already present on the PS4, but you need to buy like a dedicated headset. In the PS5 it should be like more baked in, so we can always kind of hear where things are coming from the right, from the left, maybe above us. I used a 3D headset once and was pretty impressed, so cool to see the PlayStation 5 take full advantage of that. We'll touch on the controller features in a second and also look at the leaked controller. We of course got the ultra high speed SSD that should load our games like in less than a second. We of course had this famous Spider-Man comparison with the PS5, then called the next gen console versus the PS4 Pro, that would load the same level in 8 seconds. But the SSD can also be used to render things extremely fast, so maybe that means that we can speed up the way we traverse through big open worlds. I always said that I wanted to have flying mounts in Horizon 2. Like, there was a bug where you could like kind of fly in Horizon, as you see right here, but I want the real thing. I want to ride a Stormbird, and with the power of the PlayStation 5, I totally think that it's possible. Hardware-based ray tracing will be part of the PS5, and it should make lighting way more realistic. I always like to showcase this Watch Dogs example, where you see like the reflection on the puddles of the street, and the environments are just way more lively with ray tracing. And Ubisoft already confirmed that all their upcoming games will be cross-gen, so Watch Dogs Legion will also be coming to the PlayStation 5. Ultra HD Blu-ray support was actually something that was just missing from the PS4 Pro because the Xbox One X had the feature. So this will now be included with the PS5. And then let's go back to the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. So that is in regards to the new controller. And it was actually leaked the day of CES 2020 by a so-called cleaner. Either way, it gives us a good look at the new design that is very similar compared to the PS4 controller. You will only notice that the touchpad doesn't have the curve. It's now flat, and this also suggests that the light bar of the PS4 controller is not present anymore. We already had some PS5 controller info from that most recent Wired article. They went hands-on with the controller. They noted that the speakers should overall be improved, also that the controller feels a little bit heavier than the current PS4 controller. And looking at this leaked picture, it also looks a little bit bulkier. And that's also something that you see in the patent comparison as well, as posted by VG247. On the left you see the PlayStation 5 controller patent that lines up with the leaked picture, and it shows us the slightly smaller sticks. And with the haptic feedback feature you basically get varied resistance based on the surface of your character inside the game. So sand should feel slow and sluggy, while on ice it should really feel like your character is gliding. We see that the triggers are slightly bigger than we saw with the DualShock 4, and this should go hand in hand with the adaptive triggers that Sony will be implanting. So shooting a bow in the game feels different than shooting a gun. They are ditching the X port next to the headphone jack, and this is used for like the PlayStation 4 charging stations and the keyboard accessory. So I guess that you cannot use them anymore on the PS5 controller. Now instead we get another hole there next to the headphone jack. Some are speculating that this might be for a microphone, for an AI assistant, but yeah, your theories are more than welcome, of course, in the comments down below.
There's much more to share about PlayStation 5 in the months ahead, and we look forward to revealing more details, including the content, that will showcase the platform and the future of gaming.
Yes, in the months ahead, confirming that we at least get the full reveal before E3. Not a real surprise, of course. On February 1st, we got this tweet out of nowhere, teasing the PlayStation 4 reveal event for February 20th. And I really can't wait for that one tweet, because at one point we should expect something similar this year, right? In my previous video we touched on the fact that the Godfall developer said that they have more info to share about their PS5 exclusive game in the spring of 2020, and also that they would be alongside the PlayStation 5 every step of the way. Spring starts March 21st, so I hope that we get to see the PlayStation 5 earlier. But yeah, we will really have to wait and see. Still holding my fingers crossed for February 2020. And people are hyped, like the logo was posted 13 hours ago at the time of this recording and almost has 4 million likes, while the PlayStation Instagram account has 22 million followers. During CES, we also learned that there are now 106 million PS4 sold, meaning that around the 14 million were sold in 2019, according to Daniel Almet on Twitter. 1.15 billion PS4 games were sold, 5 million PSVR units to date were sold, pretty good for a VR device, and there are 103 million monthly active users across all the PlayStation devices, and almost 40 million people are paying like $5 to $7 per month to get PlayStation Plus. Do the math, it's pretty insane. But yeah, the PS4 sales are slowing down if you look at the years prior to 2019. So the PlayStation 5 has to pick up steam again. 4.2 million PS4s were sold in a month and a half time when the PS4 launched on November 15th, 2013. PlayStation 5 could totally exceed that, I think, if Sony has enough of them in stock. When we know more about the next-gen console, I will of course report it here on the channel, so totally subscribe for everything on the PlayStation 5 and the games that will be coming, of course. Really curious to see what the announcements will be. Like this video to support the channel, and totally check out my previous video on that first PlayStation game that was announced, Godfall, and how Sony is really banking hard on this release. For now, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.